How y'all doing out there? This is the Front Row Seat Podcast. I'm your host, Jaden Gonzalez, and on the show we got my boy.
Charles being here.
And Jay.
So we here to talk about, the NBA finals, NBA playoffs. There's a lot going on. The first game of the championship is tonight. But we've been real sidetracked because this guy's been saying that he's better than me in basketball. This guy right here, ridiculous. Ridiculous, right? But
Beat him 11-4 for 20.
it's just not true. We're just not gonna. We're just gonna ignore these false statements. Yeah. Let's get into it, man. The NBA Finals, dog. Who would have thought that Jimmy Butler would have led this team all the way over here? Did y'all really think that?
Jimmy Buckets.
As an AC?
Nah, that's definitely shocking. Best AC to NBA history.
And how they got it, I'm not surprised.
What you mean you're not surprised? You're not surprised with how they did that?
Giannis was hurt half the first series. I'm not surprised they took it from Giannis.
They got 2 all-defensive players on their team. Brook Lopez, Drew Holiday. 3, if you include Giannis.
I mean,
But Giannis was on half the series. He came back. He was probably still hurt. I'm not surprised the Heat won that. And then Celtics, inconsistent.
They are inconsistent. I feel like, personally, the Heat, that was a mastermind performance by Spo, but I also think on the opposite end, the Celtics coaching was just awful. Awful. Joe Mazzulla.
Definitely a Heat masterclass. The Celtics, it was definitely a fumble on their end, a collapse. But the Heat definitely did their fair part.
For sure.
Making sure that happened.
I mean, I can't call it a Heat masterclass when they almost fumbled the 3-0 lead. I mean, the series ended in a game 7. They was up 3-0.
Who in the finals, who at home?
Yes, I'm saying.
Who in the finals, who at home?
It's not a masterclass, though.
It is a
How was that not a masterclass? They beat them in Boston for Game 7.
It's not a masterclass. It's a masterclass if they swept. Like,
They won by
the
like
Nuggets.
20.
What the Nuggets did was a masterclass, not the Heat.
You don't think that's a big deal? Winning,
Fumbling a 3-0 lead to go to Game 7,
they're a
not a
second seed.
masterclass.
You got to think about it. They was in the play-in tournament. They played the number 1 seed, and then the Knicks. They're probably tired, bro. They tired of shit.
Real
They
time.
go up 3-0. They probably gonna let him get some games. Jimmy Butler, his little tired ass. He probably bullshit game 5, 6, 7.
Right.
And yeah, game 7. Game 7, he turned up.
They third best player, Tyler Hero, was injured. That's not a masterclass?
Yeah, that's a masterclass.
That's not a masterclass. He coming back, by the way, but he was injured.
I know.
Victor Oladipo was injured. Gabe Vincent was out Game 6. That's not a masterclass. I think it is. Eric Spoelstra did his thing.
Almost fumbling a 3-0 leads, not masterclass. Hey, shouts to them though, but not a masterclass.
Okay, let's discuss this. Jimmy Butler, a crazy show, a crazy performance by him this entire playoffs. Would you say he's a first ballot Hall of Famer from this performance that he's giving off? First ballot. What's that face for, man? First ballot. You don't think Jimmy Butler?
First ballot talent, or is he a first ballot Hall of Famer right now?
You're not rocking with Jimmy?
Hall of Famer right now. He's made it to the finals. We don't even need to see the outcome of the finals right now. He's not first ballot?
No.
Crazy.
No.
What you think, bro?
It's arguable whether he's even a Hall of Famer.
What? Arguable whether he's a Hall of Famer or not. Led his team to the finals twice.
Yes, he led his team to the finals. Tell me what accolades he had. Tell me. Does he have any finals?
Any finals?
Any rings?
No. There's a lot of players
No
on
rings.
first ballot without
Any
rings.
MVPs?
No.
Any
He's a
defensive
playoff
player of the years.
He's a
performer.
5-time all defensive.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
That's a couple people, but I mean, that doesn't mean that they're first ballot Hall of Famers.
He has like 6 All-Star appearances to go along with that. Should have been 7. He should have made All-Star game this year if we're going to be completely honest.
Is Kyle Lowry a first ballot Hall of Famer?
No.
He got All Stars.
He didn't lead his team.
He got a
never
ring.
led his
He
team
got
to
a
the
ring.
finals.
He got a ring.
But is he carrying?
He wasn't an all-defensive talent. He wasn't a two-way player.
Kyle.
He hasn't showed out. He hasn't had crazy performances in the playoffs like Jimmy Butler has. Can you name me one Kyle Lowry crazy performance?
He got a ring as the third best player on the team.
Third best player.
Third best player, yeah.
Does Jimmy Butler have a ring?
He has.
I'm not even a ring guy, but first ballot Hall of Famer. Not right now. No.
Was Patrick Ewing a first ballot?
That's Patrick Ewing.
He did
This is
he
Jimmy
led his team to the
Buckets.
finals twice.
Buckets.
Lost both.
Yo, Jimmy Butler's tough, but he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer right now.
Who else is carrying their teams to the finals?
Like I said, Jimmy Butler is tough, but he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer right now.
So go ahead.
So like the teams he's beating Trae Young. He beat Giannis.
I don't know why you said
He
Trae
beat
Young like
Tatum.
I don't know why you said Trae Young like
That's elite. He's probably gonna be in the Hall of Fame. Like, let's keep it a buck. Tatum's probably gonna be in the Hall of Fame.
For
Giannis
sure.
is in the Hall of Fame.
as of right
Giannis is
now.
the
As of
second
right now,
best
you
power
think
forward
Trae
ever.
Young's going to be in the Hall of Fame?
If he's beating Hall of Famers, what does that make?
Trae Young's not a Hall of Famer right now.
Bro,
Giannis is.
Giannis.
Yes, Giannis. I'll give you that.
Beat
He
Giannis.
has a ring. 2 MVPs, Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah, first ballot Hall of Famer. Giannis, definitely, for sure,
He beat him.
for sure. Is Jason Tatum a first ballot Hall of Famer?
No, not yet.
Okay, well, let's talk about Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum has the first team All NBAs. He's been to the Eastern Conference Finals, the past 4 years in a row? He's been to the finals.
One time.
Hasn't won a final.
Hasn't. He's only been there once. Jimmy Butler's
But
been there
he's been
twice.
to the Eastern Conference Finals, 4 or 5 times now in his career?
He lost to
And it's
Jimmy
early.
twice.
He loses most of the time, and he was drafted in 2017. He's very young, so I wouldn't say no. He's not. But Jimmy Butler has been in the league since 2011. He's constantly proven how much of a dog he is in the playoffs. He's one of the few players in the league who I can say step their game up in the playoffs. Usually it's the opposite. They retract in the playoffs. They're not showing up. They don't perform. He excels. Not a first ballot. Made it to the finals twice. Not a first ballot. 5-time all defensive. You know how hard it is to make all defensive teams? Only 10 players in the league get picked for all defensive selection. He got picked as one of the top 10 defenders in the league 5 years. Not a Hall of Famer.
Not right now. No, not right now. He's not a Hall of Famer. Will he end up in a Hall of Fame? I hope so. But right now, at this moment, he's not a Hall of Famer.
Okay, so let's put him up against...
You can't just throw... If he retires right now, he's not a Hall of Famer. If that... You're asking me, basically, if he retires right now, is he a Hall of Famer? No, not right now. He's not a Hall of Famer.
What?
He's not a Hall of Famer. If he's a Hall of Fame... Like, you know how many other guys should be Hall of Famers? Like...
Who else?
Who else? Who else is on Jimmy Butler's level, who has been retired for 5 years and isn't in the Hall of Fame? On his level.
I need a list.
Nah, you gotta think hard because it ain't that many motherfuckers. That's why.
There ain't.
Jimmy Butler's tough, like I said, but he's not a Hall of Famer right now.
How
That
is he
nigga's
not?
elite.
He led his team
Like
to the finals twice.
if you put him in a Hall of Fame right now, you're lowering the basketball Hall of Fame criteria.
Okay,
You
right
mean?
now.
Tracy McGrady is in the Hall of Fame. Tracy McGrady's a 7-time All-Star. He didn't make
Scoring
any
champ.
all defenses.
Scoring
He's
champ.
never made it out the second
Scoring
round.
champ. Scoring champ multiple
One-time
times.
scoring champ.
All NBA multiple times.
So is Jimmy
Been in
Butler.
the MVP conversation
Has he won it?
couple times.
Jimmy Butler's been in the conversation. He was in the
When?
conversation earlier this season.
Earlier this season, did he finish out in top 3 in voting?
What does it
No,
matter if you
I don't
don't
mean
get the
nothing.
award?
Would you
Finishing
rather?
top 3 in voting and being is way different from being in a conversation at the beginning of the season. He wasn't runner up. He's never been runner up in MVP.
Nobody's going to look
He's
back
never
at
at the end
someone's
of-
career
he's
and
ne-
say, oh, they were the runner-up for MVP
That's true.
back in, 2005.
That's
No one's
true.
going to say
Does
that.
he have any scoring titles?
Why does he need a scoring title?
Any assist titles?
Does Tracy McGrady have any all-defensive selections?
No.
So are you saying you'd rather have MVP runner up?
You stack up their resumes. You're saying Jimmy Butler's resume is better than Tracy McGrady's.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What's better on his resume?
Winning.
He's been to the finals twice. Tracy McGrady never made it out the second round. But he's a Hall of Famer.
We gotta talk about regular season too. Well, other than all
Postseason much outweighs regular season, bro.
Greatly outweighs.
Greatly outweighs. You'd rather
regular season is a part of the game.
Of course.
Regular season, 82 games.
which is not as important.
Much longer portion in the playoffs.
I just don't get the. So you rather have T Mac on your team than Jimmy Butler? You talking like pickup basketball?
Two different eras.
What does that have to do with the question?
You
We're
need
talking
this
about
win.
Hall of Fame. This is the area where you can where you can talk about and compare eras.
I'm telling you, as of right now, today, Jimmy Butler is not in the Hall of Fame. He's not a Hall of Famer.
Okay, let's put him up against.
He's not too far from it, but today, as of right now, he's not a Hall of Famer.
Is he not
He's
a
a
top?
player that was very good in the league.
Is he not a top 15 small forward of all time?
I mean, you could put him either at the 2 or the 3, but top 15 small forward all the time.
Yes. Is his career not better than Paul George's? Why is this even something to think about?
See. Now you have me thinking.
Paul George has never been to the Hall of Fame.
So is Paul George a Hall of Famer?
Absolutely. In my opinion, yes. Paul George is a Hall of Famer.
That's arguable too.
You think Paul George is arguably not in the Hall of Fame?
It's arguable, but I would say Paul George is closer to being in the Hall of Fame than Jimmy Butler.
He's never been to the finals. Jimmy Butler's been twice.
You put up their statistics and accolades. I'm taking Paul George.
Jimmy Butler beat a 1 seed and a 2
You
seed.
don't get any reward for making it to the finals.
Now watch this. Jimmy Butler beat the 1 seed and the 2 seed in this playoff run and beat the Knicks, the biggest fan base in the NBA. We can look at Paul George back when, in arguably his best season, his MVP season back in 2017, 2018. He was with Russell Westbrook and Carmelo. And he couldn't even beat a rookie Donovan Mitchell with the Utah Jazz. They got bounced out the first round. That was Paul George in his prime.
What was his stats that season compared to Jimmy Butler?
I'm sure Jimmy's were better.
And then also was Paul George not competing with LeBron to Game 7 back when he was young with the Heat?
Oh, 1 sec. We rolling? All right. Jimmy Butler. So we can put this guy, Jimmy Butler, as up against all of the great small forwards. Because I personally think he's a top 15 small forward of all time. If he wins this ring, he's top 10. We can put him. I personally have Jimmy Butler having a better career than Paul George right now, than Grant Hill, than Carmelo Anthony.
I can't. Better career than Paul George and Carmelo Anthony.
Than Carmelo. Carmelo's never been to the finals.
I'll keep it a buck. I can't speak on Grant.
Okay.
But better than Paul George and Carmelo. Better careers than Paul George and Carmelo.
Carmelo's never been to the finals. He's never been out
to
the
the finals. He's never been to the finals.
You could say by the end of Jimmy's career, he could be better than Melo.
What about right now?
Right now,
Melo, one of probably the best, probably top 10 scorers of all time.
Melo got the all-time stats.
Better
points and all that.
One of the top 10 scorers of all time. You think Jimmy Butler's had a better career than him since 03?
I mean, winning-wise, yeah.
His career is more debatable because...
But we got to talk individual stats and statistics. Jimmy Butler's had a better career.
Individually, Melo, you're right.
Individually, Melo?
But, like, winning-wise, Jimmy Butler affects his team more.
Way more. Carmelo was never a great defender.
No.
He's a better rebounder than Jimmy Butler. He's a better scorer than Jimmy Butler. Other than that, Jimmy Butler does everything better. He kicks the rock better. Honestly, I think he's a better finisher around the basket. I think Jimmy Butler... That's ridiculous. He ain't a better finisher than Melo. But I'd say he's a better defender. He's a better facilitator. He has better leadership. He got that dog in him.
Scoring-wise, Melo got that, but everything else, Jimmy got it. That's the important stuff.
Literally.
Yeah. We can talk about skills, but when we talk about accolades, stats, their seasons' histories, and their basketball careers and their NBA careers, you're telling me Jimmy Butler's had a better career than Jimmy Butler?
Yes. That Jimmy Butler's had a better career than Carmelo.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
I think Jimmy Butler's had a better career than Dominique Wilkins. I think Jimmy Butler's had a better career than Alex English. These are all these people thrown in the top 15 debate for small forwards. If he is arguably a top 15 player at his position, and we don't want to move him to 2 guard, if we move him to 2 guard, he could possibly be top 10. Is he not better than T-Mac? Is he not better than Vince Carter?
I mean, by the end of his career, probably.
I wouldn't, right now, no. I wouldn't put him past T-Mac. I wouldn't put him past Vince Carter.
What?
I would not put him past T-Mac. I would not put him past Vince Carter.
They don't have much postseason success. Postseason success is what you're going to be remembered by. That's what your legacy is built on. You don't see any of the players in the top 10, top 20 who don't have any postseason success, which is why Vince Carter and T-Mac, I don't think they were on the top 75.
You're saying all this about Jimmy Butler as if he has a ring.
But you got
Regardless, when we talk about all time, if Jimmy Butler doesn't win a ring, you can't go saying, "Oh my God, he got to the finals."
Okay, let's say this.
If he doesn't get the ring, you can't keep saying, "Oh my God, he got to the finals a couple times."
Why can't we say that? We say that with players like Charles Barkley.
He didn't finish.
You know, this is comparable to like LeBron's 2018 run, right? Like this is insane.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's honorable and it's great that he got to the finals, but when it's all said and done, like that's not going to put him past somebody like Carmelo or Paul George unless he actually does win the ring. If he doesn't win the ring, we can't just put him past him just because he went to the finals.
Look,
he didn't win it.
Jimmy Butler was the best player on his team. So this is why we can compare him to players like Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing. If we look at these guys, Jimmy Butler, who is also the best player on his team, has made the finals more than Charles Barkley. He's made the finals more than Reggie Miller. He's made the finals more than... He's tied with Gary Payton. He's tied with John Stockton. He's tied with all of these guys who are greats, top 5 in their positions, arguably.
Okay, how many times has Jimmy Butler been to the finals?
Twice now.
Okay. Let me just think of somebody. Klay Thompson has been to the finals.
He wasn't the face of his team.
Finals, what, 5 times?
He was the third best player on his team for half of those runs.
Still a great player, all-star player, right?
Of course.
Where's the correlation?
Klay Thompson was never the best player on his team. It's hard to compare him with a guy like Jimmy Butler, who was the leading scorer on his team, arguably the best perimeter defender on his team, brings that mental leadership, which matters a lot. Carmelo doesn't bring that leadership. Paul George doesn't bring that leadership. That leadership matters. To be the best player on your team, I feel like, especially in today's day and age, the player who brings that leadership and that fire typically isn't the best player on the team. Draymond Green isn't the best player on the team. Marcus Smart isn't the best player on the team. These are the players who are bringing that fire, bringing that energy, bringing that leadership. To be the best player on your team and have that fire and be an 8 seed, making it past the 1st and 2nd seed, the best, not just the best team in the conference. The Bucks were the best team in the league. Beat them. First ballot.
Like, you gotta think about Jimmy Butler's not no bitch. Like, he not going if he fuck
not
up.
Being a bitch doesn't get you Hall of Fame, bro.
Think about it. If Giannis was on the Heat and Jimmy was on the Bucks, you think the Bucks are losing that? No. Giannis is too much of a bitch. Like, you gotta come mentally. It gotta be a mental like capability where you're just not gonna allow your team to lose. And Jimmy got that.
He wills his team to win.
He got
on
that
some
dog.
anime shit.
Why are we acting like just last year the Celtics didn't beat them in the Game 7?
Game 7.
Like y'all are too caught up in the heat of the fucking moment. Like, yeah, this year they're going to the finals, but why are we acting like y'all are acting like he's fucking Jordan? He doesn't have 6 finals. He doesn't have 6 finals wins.
He hooping like Jordan. Like
Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray's playing out of his mind.
Not defensively.
If you switch Jamal Murray and Jimmy Butler, are they making the finals? Hell no.
Hell no.
They're not making out the first round.
They're not beating the Bucks. Shit, they might not even beat the Raptors.
Jamal Murray has been...
Oh, the Bulls.
Jamal Murray has been a top 5 player in this year's playoffs. Y'all are too caught up on the Jimmy Butler hype that's going through social media. And the killers, I like Jimmy Butler, but like, stop it. Come on now.
So Jamal Murray's top 5. What is Jimmy Butler?
So y'all are stuck in the heat of the moment. Like, y'all are stuck in the heat.
What is Jimmy Butler this playoff series?
Jamal Murray has the ability.
Hall of Fame is your whole career.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame is your whole career.
Yeah.
Timberwolves, Jimmy Butler. Where did he get? Where did he get? Since we're just talking about postseason, what happened in the postseason?
Actually, I remember.
I don't think they made it.
I don't know Timberwolves because his team is trash.
Okay, Bulls. Where'd he get?
His team was trash. Look at the 76ers.
76ers, where'd he get?
Game 7 against
76ers,
Kawhi's
where'd he
Raptors.
Hey, you
Kawhi
can't
hit
let
a
that
buzzer
happen.
beater to beat them.
Hey, you got that fucking dog and you ain't no fucking bitch.
That's
Hey, you
Kawhi
can't let
Leonard.
that happen.
That's Kawhi Leonard.
Hey,
First of all, the joint
Jimmy
like
Butler's
bounced.
fucking Jordan. You can't
Bro,
let that happen.
They are a game-winning shot away from beating the Warriors. You know that team beat the Warriors, right? You telling me the 76ers couldn't have beat that Warriors team?
Hell no.
Fuck no. Not healthy. We all know Raptors got blessed. Kevin Durant got hurt. KD
76ers
got
would have
hurt.
done the same thing.
Kevin, if you lose arguably your third and your first best player, yeah, a lot of teams are gonna lose that. A lot of teams, you lose Kevin Durant, arguably a top 10 player all time, one of the top 3 players in the league at that time, and you lose Klay Thompson.
But that's a possible ring right there.
Thompson, one of the top 5 shooters of all time.
But you going on Jimmy Butler's career,
Great
that's
defender.
a possible ring right there. That's a ring.
If Kawhi Leonard misses that shot, Jimmy Butler could have a ring.
Yeah, that's a ring.
Jimmy Butler could have a ring.
Why are we talking about could be's? Why are we talking about
That's a
could-be's?
possible ring.
Why are we talking about could be's?
Bro, that's a bounce of a ball away from a ring.
Why are we talking about could be's? You know how many people could have had a ring?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot.
Okay.
And a lot of them are first ballot Hall of Famers. Are they
For
not?
real.
Are they not? He won the Larry Bird Eastern Conference like playoffs MVP. Is that not worth anything? That accolade doesn't matter? That's not a first ballot worthy accolade?
Outplayed Jason Tatum.
I'll play Jason Tatum, who is runner-up for face of the league.
Yeah.
Is Andre Iguodala a Hall of Famer?
What does that have to do with Jimmy Butler? He's made one All-Star game.
Is Andre Iguodala a Hall of Famer?
No.
But Andre Iguodala has a Finals MVP.
He wasn't the best
Multiple
player
rings.
on that
But
team.
he has a Finals MVP. We're talking about an Eastern Conference MVP. Iguodala has a Finals MVP.
How did he get that Finals MVP?
Now it's how did he get that Finals MVP?